Hi Ricky, this is Randy Turava, and I'm one of the doctors that you normally call Frank, but my name is Randy, so I'm just saying that to remind you. And I'm going to take a couple of minutes here to talk to you about some of the things that are going on with you right now during this hospital stay. Probably the most significant thing that's occurring right now is that you're having a pretty profound anemia, thrombocytopenia, and neutropenia. And all those things are very fancy terms just to basically say that your bone marrow, which is the site that makes your blood cells, is not functioning right now. It's not functioning very well right now. Now, whether that's because of the virus itself, from other infections, opportunistic infections that the virus is allowing to occur, or from some of the chemotherapeutic agents that you've had, recently and in the past and recently, all those and the medications, or a combination of those things, that is probably what's causing your bone marrow to not work the way that it should. In a way, it's kind of like it's poisoned. It's poisoned by a virus and by the medications, and those things are preventing it from doing its job, which is to make more blood cells. Now, your white blood cell count right now is coming up, so it's looking a little bit better actually today, and that may be partially from the We're giving you a medication that increases the rate of the white blood cells. It makes them grow. It's like a growth hormone, and it helps them to grow faster and more. So that's one thing that's looking good. It's looking very good. Now, the hematocrit, which is your red blood cell count, and those are the cells that carry the oxygen in your body, those are actually doing pretty good. They're at about 22 right now, and they're holding firm. They're holding steady, and they're waiting for your bone marrow to catch up and make more. So that looks really good. The other thing is the thrombocytopenia. And anytime I say penia, it just means a very low level of. And cyto is just a fancy word for cell. And thrombo is for the thrombocytes, or the other name for them is platelets. Platelets are needed in order to go ahead, and if you cut yourself, the platelets are like these little tiny discs that go to the area and allow the area to stop bleeding. Well, right now your platelets are very low. They're at about 9,000, and normally they should be higher. They should be more in the range of 150,000. So we're watching that for you. Okay. So those are some of the things that are going on for your blood, and that's probably that is the main reason why you're here right now. Now, we did the bone marrow biopsy, and so far, all the cultures that are there are negative. There's nothing growing as far as infections that are going on in the bone marrow. There's nothing like that happening right now. As far as how the bone marrow is making cells, it's just not making very many cells right now. It seems like it's stunned. But we'll wait and see if the blood counts are kind of coming up a little bit. So maybe it's starting to recover a little bit. So that's the main reason why you're in the hospital right now. And because of the low white blood cell count, which are the cells that help fight infection, that's why you're in the protective isolation for you. And because it helps, because being that your white blood cells are so low, you're very susceptible to infection, and that's why we've been taking this the neutropenic precautions. And neutropenic just means the neutrophils, or white blood cells, are actually very low. So that's why we're doing that. Now, as far as the other things that are going on, I know that you came in. For a long time, you've had the peripheral neuropathy in your lower legs and in your lower extremities, and I know that that's been a problem, an ongoing problem for you. Now, the thing about that is that from the scans that we've seen, there's there's a portion of your spinal cord called the cervical spinal cord, and it keeps kind of going down through the back into different sections, and it gives off branches of different nerves. But the thing is that your cervical spinal cord is a little bit smaller than normal, and that's just just a congenital difference. You were born with that, and and it happens in different people. If we looked at a bunch of different individuals with their MRI, with an MRI scan, we may find that actually there's a small percentage of them that actually have the same thing too. Well, that coupled with the virus itself, and also too some of the chemotherapy agents like vincristine. I know that you've been on that in the past. That is a very neurotoxic drug, and it can cause problems with peripheral neuropathy. It can permanently damage nerves, and that may be part of what's going on while you're having this neuropathy. And all it is that the spinal cord is like a group of wires. Okay, is basically what it is. It's a bunch of wires taped together, and they carry signals, nerve signals, electrical signals from your legs and your arms and your lower body up the spinal cord and back to your brain. And your brain interprets those signals and then will act accordingly. If it needs to move an arm or move a leg, it'll send the signal back down the spinal cord to give the arm or leg a signal to move. Well, right now, that conduction pathway that is there in your spinal cord, it's because of some of the degeneration that's happened because of the virus and probably because of some of the chemotherapy. That is causing the signals to not conduct properly. It's like being on a phone line that has static on it. And so what happens is the brain only gets part of those signals. And so because it only gets part of those signals, you may have unusual feelings, you may have unusual output from the brain back to those nerves too. And so that's why you're experiencing some of the strange sensations, or not sensing a lot of or having a lot of sensation in your lower extremities, and then by the same token you're having these unusual movements with your legs that are happening also, and those are persistent. And that's the reason why, is because basically the conduction system in the spinal cord is not working the way it normally should. Now I don't know if that's going to get any better. I think it's probably not going to get better, because once those lesions or the damage is there, there's no way to really repair those connections. But so those are the main things that are going on right now. And but I just want to tell you that you're a testament to fighting against this illness. You really have been just very strong, and you're really trying with all your heart to fight against this thing. And I'm not going to say that the virus is winning. It's just persistent, and that's all. But you're very persistent as well. And I hope that this tape helps to explain some of the things that are going on, and I hope you understand them. And if you don't, you can always call me and ask me, to explain it to you. So just hang in there and keep doing the best that you can. I know this has been a bad day for you, but there's always tomorrow, right? So hang in there and get a good night's rest, and don't think about it too much, okay? And talk to you soon. Bye-bye.